See if we can get this puppy rocking. Alright, so I'm streaming. And let's get it going. Let's see. There it goes. Alright, you guys should have a stream. Let's see if it's on the channel itself. Oh, it's got the wrong icon. Wrong picture. Let's see if it's... All right. I can't tell you. He's a tech savvy guy, gonna show you the. You guys should be seeing the show. You better load your bags, 'cause crypto's here to stay. Listen up, gonna teach you about this and that. But he's just a goofy guy in a straw hat. So join in and have a laugh. It's gonna be a good time, that's a fact. Information and crypto parodies. Sit back and enjoy the show. You just never know which way you'll go. Get ready for Digitspin crypto. Alright! Hey guys! It's Dino! Live! It's craziness out there. Freaking Electroneum! Oh my gosh, we're going live. We're sitting there hanging out on Telegram. We're watching all the craziness and excitement happening. And we're taking a look at Electroneum. Electroneum just goes bananas. Now I'm looking at the picture from my show that's going on right now, and it's clearly the wrong one. So I'm going to see if we can change that real quick and save it to something that looks a little bit better. I'm hoping that works. And we're in good shape. So I figured, let's go live. We gotta chat about this live. And yeah, on the Digitspin Telegram channel, go down in the description, pop it open. You can go to the Digitspin Telegram channel, and then you can activate the live voice chat, so you can actually be live on the show with your voice. It's not your picture. So if you want to chat with me that way also, that would be fantastic. I'm hoping we'll be able to do that. I know that Numpty Nuts is out there, and hey Numpty, Tony, you've got to be pretty excited because you've been talking about this, waiting for Electroneum to zoom. So this has got to be pretty exciting for you in a way. So that's exciting. Hey Tony, you out there on Telegram? Oh, I guess I missed him. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. Let's move this to Telegram, and let's change this over to the chart. Let me move my head out of the way. So yeah, we're watching it on Telegram, and while we're sitting there watching and chatting and yapping, Electroneum did something pretty exciting. Now, as of 10 o'clock this morning, it started to act a bit interesting. If we take a look at it, let's look at the hourly here. You can see somewhere around 9-10 o'clock, somewhere in this area here, things started to change and started to move pretty interestingly. And I've been keeping my eyes on it, so I usually look at it at the 15-minute range. And basically, And those of you that are on, I see Papa's on there and Jenny's on the voice chat. Feel free to jump in at any time if you have a question. You just shout out. I'll grab that question. I also see a few folks out there in the details. Oh my God! All the. Let me pop out the chat and move it over to the other window so I can see what you guys are doing when you're chatting. See, we got about 25 folks out there, so that's pretty exciting. Okay. I don't think that nobody's out there. All right. Hey, Scott, I see you there on Telegram. Let's give a couple of shout-outs. Frederico's out there. Numpty Duns Michael's out there. Michael Taylor is out there. What is it? Hojito is out there. Michael Stewart's out there. Who else we got there? We got hey, Chris is out there. Jerk seasoning guy. Dr. Shepard. Desi Prasto. Stewart's out there. That's great. Timo's out there. Billionaire Face out there. Great. I appreciate you guys jumping on. You know, this is it's kind of fun when these things happen. So it's always exciting. No, and. I definitely wanted to see what we could do on there. So, as of 10 o'clock this morning, I started to keep an eye on it because I have a lot of different indices that I kind of track, and obviously the TD sequential. I have a moving average, which is this green line. And then, of course, I keep an eye on the Bollinger Bands with Electroneum. So at 10 o'clock this morning, I saw it flip. And when it flips, it means it's starting to move to the upper side of the median, which is a good sign, because if it can stay there, it usually will work its way up. By like 1 o'clock, I was not that excited, and it was hey, how you doing? Who's that there speaking?
I'm from the chat at Telegram.
Ah, very good, very good. That's Papa. Yes. Do you have a question, Papa?
No, I have no question.
Oh, okay.
Similar to you at YouTube.
Yes.
Watch your video.
All right, fantastic. Well, we're really thrilled that you are on the Telegram channel and that you're hanging out watching us live on YouTube. Appreciate that. You're obviously, I don't know if you've seen the pricing. You must be pretty excited to see a little excitement going on, yeah? Oh, lost Papa. All right.
No, I didn't understand.
What's that?
I didn't understand you.
I get it. I was asking if you were pretty excited to see a little action happening with the Electroneum value today.
Yes, I am. My English is not so good, but we talk with you at your first videos.
Very good. Very good. Well, we appreciate that.
I was smiling then, and I asked you the question, how much ETN were mined, and we talk together.
Ah, about mining the Electroneum. Now I remember. Okay. Yeah, that was a few days ago, yes?
No, it was 2017.
2017. Oh. Seems like yesterday.
It can be 2018. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you stuck with me, and I'm glad you enjoyed my show. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that gives up a little bit of their time to hang out with me and gets a little value out of the show. It's always exciting for me, and I'm glad to be able to give back to the community. So I'm gonna continue on with the evaluation. So I was, wasn't that excited up till about 1 o'clock, but then things started to move. So around 2 o'clock, we started to see a little activity, a little motion upwards. The nice thing, we were getting multiple TD9s, sequential flags, you know, so I was keeping an eye on that. I was expecting it to reverse a little bit, but we did get up to about a 70%. We went all the way up to 24 sats, 24 and a half sats on KuCoin, so that's pretty exciting. And clearly a lot of people started to sell because you can double your money right away, and so some people pretty much almost doubled their money, started selling off. Now obviously somebody with some big bags was filling up some big bags of Electroneum, because this is a pretty significant movement for Electroneum. This is not your natural good growth. This is somebody plunking down some hard-earned cash to buy some Electroneum. We had and as soon as it hit the top, the guys in the Telegram, I was telling them, well, look for the retrace. It's going to go down 50%, and sure as anything, it did go back down to that 50%, and made it all the way back down to 16 and 9. This thing was fluctuating back and forth for a while. It was yo-yoing, so there was a fight. People were selling off, and the guy was getting some good purchases at a much better price. Those that were selling it were giving it to the other guy, so he was going to keep purchasing. And if you take a look at the purchasing, it has continued. This fight continued on, and for the last 30 minutes. We've been moving in an upward trend again. So let's break this down. Let's take a look at it in a 5-minute window. So you can see it wasn't a single purchase, but it was rather a series of purchases that went along over a good amount of time. And you can see the battle here, where it dropped down, rose back up. Worked its way back up, fell all the way back down, got purchased back up, fell down, got purchased back up. So every time folks are dumping it, personally I would hold on to it, let the price go up, and then see where we go from there. Now, the big key is we want to stay above this moving average here. So I keep an eye on it. I have it set up so that if it turns red, that kind of tells you then that we're going to be most likely in a downward trend. But as long as it stays green, we'll be all right. And it'll stay green as long as we can stay above the moving average. Now, you can go to the Digitspin. I'm going to show you guys how to do this real quick. You go to digitspincrypto.com, and you'll be able to look at the real-time chart there. Now, if you're using a cell phone, you'll get a smaller window. If you're using a full-size screen on a PC, you'll get a larger window. But you'll be able to come here, go to real-time charts, and the chart will come up. Now, this is the small window. Like if I enlarge this, you'll see all you have to do is come over here and click Electroneum BTC, and you can get the real-time chart. And click, you want to look at it on the 30-minute range, or you can click, 15-minute range. I like the 15-minute, especially for Electroneum. And then you can move this up, so you can watch the action as it's happening. And a 5-minute will buy you a little bit more detail. All right, if you're using it on a cell phone or a tablet, you're going to get this small screen. So what you're going to do is go up to the top here. It defaults to Bitcoin. But if you type in ETN BTC, that's Electroneum to a Bitcoin trading pair. ETN BTC, you hit enter, and the chart will change to Electroneum. And again, you can go and click on 15 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever you want to do. And you'll be able to see the real-time chart for Electroneum and see the action on it. So the moral of the story here is we had the bulls and bears fighting this out. It's created a pennant, that's really quite obvious here from the top to the bottom that lasted maybe an hour. And this particular section here is showing a little bit of a breakout. Let's go back to trading view. So we're starting to again keep above the moving average. So that's exciting. It's good to see a little movement on Electroneum. I know everybody in the chat was going, yeah, yeah, go, go, go. So that's always funny. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to answer some questions out there. When it comes to Bitcoin, I've been taking a look at this. Let me bring that up because we have to at least take a look at Bitcoin. So you guys, let's load the chart. And so I just want to show you what we got going on here. I had, that's a 4 hour. Let's bring it down to the 1 hour. I had saw it, it hit that 42,000 mark. And was pretty excited about that, and then it started to fall real fast within the 15-minute earlier this morning, and so I was concerned that we were going to take a drop here. I sold a little Bitcoin just to make sure, so I had taken a little bit of profit, but then it obviously escalated back right up. So when I go to buy back, I'm not going to have the same amount of Bitcoin as I had before. I panic sold at the so, but the trick is not to FOMO in at the top. But it wasn't a whole lot of money, but I did do a little bit. But it has recovered a bit. If we take a look, the problem that you have with Bitcoin is right now is on the hour. This is a 15-minute. I want to show you the hourly real quick. On the hourly, we're heading back to an upward with the MACD. We're heading back to an upward trend, and that's why you can see the price is going to go up. We're going to get another one of these bumps here. I'm just hoping that it goes higher and it's not a shoulder, so we would have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder, because then we can see a drop. But from now to the next 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 hours, we should see 4 to 5 hours. We should see an upward trend for Bitcoin. Not a whole lot. We're at 4,000. We might hit that 42 again. I think it's possible. We can gain another 2,000. But if we take a look at the 4 hour, which is more important, you'll notice that on the 4 hour is that we're working on it. What? Hey, I'm on my show. Hey. Okay, so on the 4 hour, yeah, the wife. I gotta answer the wife's questions. She's just looking all over for me in the building. So for the next 4 hours, you're gonna see. We're in a downward trend here. So this is going to go down the MACD, and then it's going to go into a negative and then come back up. So, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. So the next 20. So it's going to be another, over the next day, I have a feeling we're going to see this price continue to go down, even though we're going to have some ups. On the hourly swing, the 4 hour MACD is clearly showing us that we're in a downward pressure. We have a downward pressure for the next 20 hours or so. But once that breaks free, we'll be able to see another giant leg up gain like we had here. So if you follow this here, you'll see. It'll go from your top, it'll work its way down to the bottom. Once it hits here, we start to see a momentum, a lifting momentum. And if you follow it right here, you'll notice from this point to this point is kind of where you get your gains. All right, so for the next 20 hours or so, we should be seeing a slight downward. It's either going to walk across if there's a lot of buying, and this is what's concerning me, is because we're not seeing it go sideways. If you're seeing it go sideways when it's supposed to be going down, that means there's good buying pressure. There's people out there buying, and we're starting to see a lot of oscillations. And when the oscillation starts to follow that MACD, then that's when you're starting to see that there's not as many buyers as there was previously. Because when there's a lot of buyers, when it's supposed to be going down, it'll go sideways, picking up the difference. So once we start to see it oscillate and go up and down, that means the buyers are starting to thin out a little bit. And I think we're getting closer to a top here. When that starts to happen, people are getting a little nervous. Bitcoin's price is way out of control. It's way up there, and people are getting real nervous. So you're going to see a lot of movement, and people quick on the fingers and on the keyboard to be able to make a trade. So, and also because we're not gobbling up stuff as quickly. So we'll have to see. Usually we do good between Thursday and Sunday on the price momentum. So today's Friday. Maybe tomorrow night we'll see another burst up. That's my expectation on Bitcoin. Another burst up tomorrow night for a leg up, and hopefully we can hit that 45. Yeah, again, if we break this moving average, that's when you get concerned, especially at a 4-hour level. So that's my thoughts on that. Let's take a look back at Electroneum. Electroneum is working its way back up, guys. All right, let's take a look at the chat. You guys on the voice chat, feel to jump in at any time if you have a question. Yoho says, I opened a beer for the pump. Numpty Nuns, any task sounds like it's starting to grow into a huge monster. Yeah, any task is going to make a big difference. As things are purchased, those coins have got to be paid to the vendors, and to do that, there's got to be Electroneum purchased. So the more tasks that are sold, it buys up more Electroneum and puts it into the ecosystem, all of which helps everybody out. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see what else we got there. Timo goes, what do you think's driving this? Somebody with a lot of Bitcoin. Personally, there's a couple of things. You could think that any tasks or needing coins to be able to pay vendors is a possibility. One guy in one of the Telegram groups thinks that the purchases were coming out of Korea, South Korea. I wasn't able to confirm that, and I'm just shooting that out because he had mentioned that there was Electrode. He had mentioned he thinks that the purchase was coming out of Korea. So another thing is that somebody obviously either thinks Electroneum or found out about it, thinks it's a fantastic project that it is, and has decided to put his money where his mouth is. Another thing too is that you got a lot of guys that had bought some Bitcoin, sitting on 10, 20, 30, 50 of them. I don't know how many they're sitting on. And like the Electroneum project, the price hit a decent amount. They're looking, and that's the reason why I did the Bitcoin review on price, because they're looking at that chart also. And I'm just a goofy guy in a straw hat, and I can see it plain as day that the buying is not as robust as it was. That doesn't mean it won't go back to that, but Bitcoin's getting to a price where the buy we're starting to run out of not be as interested in purchasing at that price. And so you're starting to see these oscillations, and there's a possibility that we're reaching or coming closer to a local top. It's not going to stop there. I mean, it's going to, retrace and come back up again. It's got to retrace. It's gone up so high. And whenever something goes up like that, it's got to retrace. And when you start to see that oscillation, you're starting to see a little bit of weakness, and maybe somebody says, all right, this is the time. I'm not expecting Bitcoin to do anything. And we're going to know by tomorrow. If by tomorrow night we don't see a little action happening with Bitcoin, we'll know that we're petering out for the immediate, future, the next week or so. And people will take that Bitcoin and those profits while they got them at the top and put them into a coin that they like, and they'll pump that up. And they'll grab a hold of it as much as they can because they're expecting it to go. And this is when you get these alt seasons where people, they determine they're at the top. They've made a decision, and then they'll move that value of the cryptocurrency into an altcoin, because then what happens, everybody else starts following and moving it out of Bitcoin, and that's why Bitcoin will start to fall, because all that capital will be transferred into stable coins and into a bunch of alts, and then the altcoins will just freaking puff up like Jiffy Pop and explode. And I think it's a possibility that the Electroneum was one of those coins that somebody's moving assets into. You take a look at this, you can see clearly whoever's purchasing, whether it's in the bots, whether it's alive, but there's a constant pressure. While we're watching the show, we can see whoever is buying, and it could be others too jumping in. Here's a time, we got a little action, it's time to buy, and they're buying in to this action, and it's continuing to drive the price upwards. Let's see, which is a good thing, and hopefully we'll be able to see it capture some of this. When all's said and done, even after a retracement, you want to be able to see a 50% gain, hopefully as a level to work from, and then that you can then go up from there and move. And start to use that as your next plateau and move it up forward from there. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, Namda says, this is a good sign of things to come for Electroneum. yeah, it is. It's good to see it. And I've told everybody many times, I go, out of the clear blue sky, for some reason, just the price of Electroneum is just going to explode, and when it happens, it's going to happen really, really fast. Electroneum is so undervalued, it's not even funny. It really is. It's so undervalued for what the system can do, what the full ecosystem is performing, and its functionality. It's really one of the only coins that I bought a couple of GPUs with some Bitcoin once, but when it comes to buying stuff, whether it's in the games or a top up for somebody or what have you, with the instant payment, I got my ETN mug, right over here, and I got that from Quora March. I used Electroneum. It's as simple as that. I might go down and work my way backwards here. Devos 1712. He thinks it's gonna hit one 1 cent soon. Who knows? At this rate, I wasn't sure if this was gonna be a just a one-time pump and hit this 23-24 sat range. And then fall back down, but clearly we're in good shape here. This pump is staying above the moving average. We're going to continue to see action going forward. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. and see. Yeah, we're way in there. Let's go to the hourly, and the hourly is just basically hyperbolic. It's gone up. It's way above the moving average. That's a really good sign. If it moves it to the 4 hour, then I think that this could go on for quite a while. So on the 4 hour, it just moved over to the green side. Luke, the green side. And flip the moving average green. The Bollinger, it clearly went out of the Bollinger Band, so I would expect it to be able to fall back into that range, which would be here in this 18-19 sat range at some point. It kind of likes to hug that. When you have this outlier out of the Bollinger, it usually will rubber band back. And if we take a look at that, we can see it's around 18.32 at this point, and then it's going to go up higher because of this this lift here. So it'll probably put it at around 19 sat. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to keep it in that range. So this is a good sign, and with this pressure, this could go on for another 4 or 8 hours. We'll have to see how that translates. But I'm really liking what I see on the 1 hour. So we'll have to see. Now the TD sequential. Basically it looks for lowers, and then once it hits a high, it'll label it a 1, and it's obviously in green. And historically how it works is that you can usually get a series of 9 numbers. When you hit number 9, that is by odds where a turning point happens, and it could go back down. So our TD sequential 9 flashed here. So this could be the end of it, or again we could see for the next few hours it kind of flutter to the right. But this has got to come back down and retrace a little bit, get it a little closer to the moving average. But I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting night for Electroneum, and I think we're going to see. I would tend to think we're gonna see some activity on this throughout the evening. All right. Hey, Numpty Dumps. Yeah, Numpty Dumps says, hey, make sure you get a thumbs up. Make sure, that's always a good thing. You're gonna want it, especially if you're following Electroneum. You wanna be subscribed to this channel. I'm the only one that's really covering Electroneum on an in-depth level, visiting and talking to different types of folks interacting with Electroneum, whether it be the advisors, new products that are released, interviews with the Electroneum folks, including Richard. You're going to get the best news for Electroneum right here on Digitspin Crypto. So, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't subscribe. And, of course, the like button if you appreciate the content is always great. And the idea there is that it can get this information out in front of other people besides ourselves. So that always helps out. So do yourself a favor. If you're holding Electroneum, hit the like button. All right. Let's see here. TD sequence, 9 or 9? Yeah, 9. All right. Yes. Oh, Yoho says, yeah, it's still pumping. Look at the charts. Dr. Shepard says, never stop, Dino, with Electroneum. You're a true legend. Well, I appreciate that. I got to get some of these up on the screen here. Let's start the vMix social, and we'll turn that on. Let me make sure it's set for the same show that we're connected to. And yep, that's it there. And let's turn it on, and let's view it. This way I can bring some of these up onto the screen for everybody to be able to see at the same time. And let's let's move this over here. All right, very good, very good. All right. So, yeah, I gotta, at least put this one up on the screen. Dr. Shepard's going, hey, Dino, never stop covering Electroneum. You're a legend. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a legend in my own mind. No, I appreciate that. It's good to know you guys enjoy the show. And Plankton also puts that there. You do an amazing job, Dino. Appreciate all the work you put in. And that's coming from Plankton, who, as you guys know, if you're on Telegram or you you follow him on Twitter, you know that Plankton is real big at getting information out there. He's one of the top dogs as far as media and getting information out to everybody in the community, which is fantastic. Now, just a reference, you can go to the Digitspin Telegram. It's in the description below, and in there you'll see the link. You go to the Telegram channel, and then up at the top you can turn on voice chat. And with the voice chat, you'll be able to be live on the show if you want, or you can just listen. Keep in mind there's probably about a 30-second delay between when you'll hear it on the voice chat and what you see on the screen. So it may be a little confusing at that. But if you have a question and you want to ask it live, feel free to do that. And just say hello and ask me that question. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, did I miss somebody? You had a question out there?
Yes. Have you any news about Ledger?
Any news about Ledger? Okay, so what had happened is that I'm gonna give a little. You asked me a question, so now you know me. I like to talk, and so I'm gonna add a lot to it. So obviously, Electroneum has to focus on their Electroneum wallet that works on the phone, and so that's their official product. And they don't want to confuse everybody by saying, "Hey, we also have a GUI wallet." So Andre, as a an employee, spent some time on his own to get the GUI wallet in place. And what a GUI wallet means is graphic user interface, and it's a Windows wallet. Okay. And so he put that together. I don't know if he did it on his own time or why he got paid or not my business. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is it got built as a community project, and that becomes available so that you can store Electroneum and interact directly with the blockchain. Klaus has put together some information on how to do that, and I'm editing that now for Klaus, and as a group effort, we're going to release that on Digitspin. So if you've never used a GUI wallet, you can watch the video and get kind of a feeling of how it works, and it might be something that you want to do also. This allows you to keep your coins from the regulated environment. You can keep it on, the phone wallet, which is KYC regulated. It's inside the fence. You get some features with that, like instant payment capabilities and alerts and all sorts of good stuff. If you keep it on the GUI wallet, there's no customer service to call. You're responsible for your own keys, and if you lose them, you're SOL. Your coins are gone. Right? So you have to have your own responsibility to keep your keys and your wallet functioning and working. Now, to Peppa's question, what's going on with the Ledger? So when you're running the GUI wallet, you have the ability to set up let's take a look here. We're getting a little cycle down on Electroneum. Let's take a look, see where it's at here. This is Bitcoin. Let's bring this up real quick. Let's load Electroneum back in, so we can keep an eye on this thing. Let's go to the 5 minute, and we can see what's happening here. All right, so you can set up the GUI wallet, and you will be able to use the ledger to store the keys. So you don't have to worry about losing them. All you need is a seed phrase, and you can store that away. But you could keep the keys for your Electroneum on a ledger wallet. Now, the code had to be written for the ledger to be able to interact with the GUI wallet, because it's not going to work on Ledger Live, but it will work on the Electroneum GUI wallet. And Andre, the same guy who made the wallet, wrote the code for the Ledger and tested it out and had it all set up. They sent that code to Ledger. I think it was March, just before the pandemic. And for them to, they have to do a code review, and they'll make sure that everything's on the up and up, and that's not doing anything funny, that it works. And then Ledger will put their stamp of approval on it and make it available for you to download into your Ledger. So you'll be able to go to Ledger Live, go to the manager, and install the Electroneum Nano S or Nano X software to work on it, and so that you'll be able to use it with the GUI wallet. Now, that process usually takes about 6 months, but unfortunately we had the beer bug happen across the world, and that's caused a lot of delays. Ledger Nano did express to Electroneum, I believe Andre and a few of the other, somebody else from Electroneum had stated that the feedback is that it's on the list. It's being hopefully looked at soon, and that Ledger apologized that they're running behind schedule significantly in getting the reviews of the code. And hopefully we'll see something. It's really a shot in the dark. I don't even think Electroneum could answer the question when, and only Ledger could. I would hope to see something the first quarter. I would hope Ledger can get their act back together, and so my hope is that we'll see the Ledger the first quarter. But that's me just shooting off at the mouth. I have no inside information regarding that. I have the same information as you guys, so anything could happen. It could take another year for all I know. But if you're a developer and you know how to compile the code, you can set up your own Linux system, install the compiler, load up the GitHub, download the updates, compile it, add the libraries, compile it, and then install it on your Ledger. Unfortunately, most of us can't do that. So we're going to have to wait for Ledger to get it done. But that doesn't mean you can't use the GUI wallet. You can use that right now, and you have to set up your keys, and you have to put in your password and all that other stuff each time you want to go to use it. But so you can use the GUI wallet. It's just that it'll be a little bit more secure with the keys on the Ledger. So I'm looking forward to that myself. All right.
Thank you very much for your answer. You have a very nice answer. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Pepper. Appreciate the question. Let's see what else we got here. Stuart saying, Dino, hey, what do you think? What do you think that the new additions to the app will be, Dino? I have no idea what they'll. I mean, obviously, we're going to get more electricity, more utility payment capabilities. As time goes along. I'm trying to remember. What Richard had talked about in his videos with me, and I'm not seeing anything off the top of my head. Okay, that I can talk about, or should I say that I know, that I could figure out at this point. There are things that I would like to see, whether or not they will transpire is one thing. You know, with the FCA registration process going on, obviously Electroneum was in the midst of it. It got a temporary license to continue, or should I say an extension. Anybody that filed before June 28th, was it, is in the system, and so they'll get a temporary license until they're actually looked at and reviewed, and Electroneum's in that place. However, you know, clearly by taking a look at, you know, Electroneum having to stay current, had to lock some accounts that needed more information, just like Coinbase and Revolt and a few other companies. You know, they had to immediately lock accounts to be able to stay within the guidelines of the FCA, and those are being checked out, and people are putting in their data, their information, and a good majority of those accounts have been opened. So that's been very successful. There are a few accounts that still need to be reviewed, I'm sure, and you know, that process will go forward. And I'm sure Electroneum has learned, since this is the first time, I'm sure they've learned quite a lot about this process, and will probably be able to handle it in a much more mature and robust fashion as time goes along. At least that's my hope, and I would expect that to be the truth. All right, so we're starting to see a throwdown here. We're starting to break that moving average. As long as we could stay above this moving average, we'll know that we'll see a continued movement. But we're starting to get a breakdown. Now, whether or not we'll see it, you know, dip into this negative territory and then poke back up is going to be the key. If this starts to drop and starts to head down to this lower Bollinger Band range, then we'll probably start to see some negative action. But if you see here, as we're talking, you can see the fight back happening. All right, the purchasers, the bulls are purchasing it, getting it pushed back up over the moving average, which will continue to allow us to see additional gains. And we're going to see this fight and this going up and down. I wonder if I could add the MACD to this real quick. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can add a MACD. That'll give us some cyclical information. We just want a basic MACD. I don't think they have anything for. MACZ. I never heard of a MACZ. Let's just use the built-in. Oh, no more indicators available to you. Go away now. I'd have to give up an indicator to get that. I guess we could give up the TD sequential. That's a possibility. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Let's bring in the. Let's try that again. Let's go with the MACD here. All right. So, the reason why I like this MACD, and this is something you guys want to take a look at as you're going along, is, you know, if you can't add it into the Digitspin one. You have to actually have a trading view account to get a lot of these. But there are a few indicators you can add. A MACD may be one of them that you can add for free. It's such a very basic indicator. But this here goes to example, like I was talking with Bitcoin. What you want to do is you want to keep your eyes on this here. All right. And how this works is you'll see your moving averages. And it's real simple. The blue line's on top, you're going up, right? As soon as the blue line does a cross, you're going to start to see some negative action, all right? And you'll also see your pressure point here. So you have your upwards moving pressure, and then you have your downwards a lower upwards pressure. So once you start to see this turn to the light green, you're starting to go into this downward trend, and you'll see that the price will follow that. And this will cycle. This thing will oscillate as it goes along. So you'll see it, start up here. It'll start to oscillate, come back down. All right. You get a little peak into the plus, and then we're dropping back down again. So we'll start to oscillate, and this will come back up. And you're going to see this is on a 5-minute window here. You're going to see this, possibly, unless this drops significantly. But there is some fighting there. You're going to see this come back up into like a light pink, and then you'll start to see the price come back up. See? You see, I see that right there? Somebody just sold a freaking handful, and it was bought right up, and so now they're fighting it out. It's like a yo-yo. Someone's trying to keep the price, or should I say, when they see this as a good deal, they're purchasing it, and, sucking up the coins at the best price that they can. So it's kind of fascinating. Now, 5 minutes is way too fast to be able to see. You can see here the moving average just turned red. Let's move this into like a 15-minute situation. Okay, so if we're looking at the 15-minute situation, which is more realistic, you can see here we're still above the moving trend. We're good. All right, and you'll see that this here was the purchasing, and then we had the pushback, the lower purchase. Then we got the greens again. We're getting this lower purchase. So we want to try to, see this stay if it's possible in the green. But if it goes into the red, that's when we're going to start to see these negatives. And that's how you kind of keep an eye on this. And you're also looking to make sure that this blue line doesn't cross over the orange. Right? Once that happens, you'll start to see on average the price to go down. Okay, and so that's when you're looking for a cross. These are just the basics for those of you that haven't done charting or haven't played with it, haven't had a chance to do that. The big keys on the hour, you definitely want to take a look at the hour. And on the hourly, we had clearly built up our pricing, built up our pressure. This hour, we're starting to see some pushback. You can see it's fluctuating between light green and dark green. If this can push up a little bit more, we'll get a little bit more height out of this. And as long as this keeps going on an upward bend, we're going to see positive pricing. Right? And this is what I look for when I take a look at pricing for Bitcoin and for Electroneum, when things are going on. You can see here it crossed over earlier in the morning. Around 10 o'clock here, we started to see a lot more of the action happen. And so this is kind of, so you're not watching it every 5 minutes and freaking out that, oh, I gotta buy, I gotta sell, I gotta buy, I gotta sell. You can look at it more in this general ballpark, whether or not the day is going good or not. Yeah. Electroneum over the last year or so has pretty much been very stable when it comes to fiat. It always seems to like that half penny. But this year I think we're going to get into the mix. I think we're going to see some excitement with Electroneum this year. And there's a lot of stuff still up Electroneum's sleeve. And that's a good thing to have happen. Now, you can see here on the overall, Electroneum has been, on the daily, Electroneum has been underneath the moving average. So when that happens, it will continue to fall. This is kind of like a major correction to bring the price back to kind of where it should be. And it has yet to flip the moving average. If it does, then we will see the price over days, over a week, start to climb. So this is what I'm going to be looking for going forward. I'm going to check the price tomorrow on the close, and we'll take a look over the next few days. You can see here, you had that negative pressure. All of a sudden, we're climbing, and hopefully this can continue to climb, or we can get a few days out of this green price pressure. But that's what we look for, and we want to see this turn green. We want this moving average to turn green, so that we know that we're kind of in a positive direction for a period of time. All right, let's take a look and see what you guys got going on out here. Let's see here. Yoho says he's got to go. Okay, got it. We need to get Numpty Nuts is saying, hey, we really want to get above the ICO price to really get the community behind Electroneum again. This is a great start. Yeah, it would be in the best interest of everybody to be over ICO price. I look forward to the day when somebody looks at me and says, "You're lucky you got Electroneum at a half penny," and I'm like, I didn't feel that lucky back then. I was sweating it out. I got tears in my eyes. I'm like, it wasn't that easy. I wasn't that lucky. I had hands of strength. I had one of those bags and wouldn't drop them no matter what. I was getting punched in the face, smack, smack. But I wasn't letting go of my Electroneum. So no, I wasn't lucky. I had constitution. Oh my gosh. But we'll feel lucky then. But that's what, if you think about it, the people that had Bitcoin have held on to it, and you're like, oh, you're lucky you have 1,000 Bitcoins, and the guy's like, he's all torn up, and I don't feel so lucky, I had to go through all this, I had to go through all this mental torture and brain damage and all this. It would have been easier sniffing glue or something, than to go through all this. It's kind of funny, and but if they held it, they're millionaires. It's as simple as that. I think it's possible for Electroneum to produce the same situation. Hey. Bitcoin's the granddaddy. Anybody trying to think that they're going to have a coin that's going to outdo Bitcoin, they're smoking something serious, okay? But being something that could be in the top 50 coins could be important, could be valuable. And Electroneum, has shown that they've taken the task seriously, no pun intended, and are looking to make the most viable product possible, to make it easy for everybody to be able to interact with each other around the globe, earn money with any task, be able to have a place to actually spend it on your electricity, top off your phone, buy some food and goods, set up a vacation, buy some hosting from Host Hackers, or what was that? Host Havoc. So you can set up your game servers. There's a lot of really cool stuff that Electroneum has in place and partnerships that they put together that's giving you the opportunity to actually use the stuff. Unlike most of the other coins, which are doing nothing. It amazes me when you got stuff like Bitcoin Cash, there's two guys running the thing, and that's it. And their claim to fame is that we got Bitcoin in our name, and the damn thing sells for $345. It's asinine. It's asinine. It's truly asinine. The world's crazy. Yeah, Stuart says, I agree that the price over 1 penny would definitely galvanize. Sunyo says, this luck is more akin to having a high pain threshold. That's exactly right. Yeah, you gotta, when the time comes, everybody says you're lucky you have that many Electroneum. You can be like, I didn't feel so lucky back then. I was tortured. I was tortured daily by numpty nuts. Tony cracks me up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at the trade value. World System. Oh, there's World System. I don't remember movement like this since maybe the end of 2018. It's been forever. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see something moving along. Let's get this back to where we can see the 15-minute. I like the 5-minute while we're on the show. We can see. I don't want to upgrade now. Okay. Let's move this to 5-minute. There we go. Kind of like the 5-minute. All right. So on the 5-minute, we're starting to see a little capitulation. We're still not down to our retrace, which would probably the 50%, which is going to be somewhere around this 1650 range. We definitely want to keep above 16 sats, but this is pretty exciting. As long as we have a higher low, I'll still be buying in, and we'll be thrilled to see it. You can see here, this was overheated. The MACD was overheated here. Okay, all of this purchasing happened. Okay, the purchasing is starting to slow down, and we're starting to see this roll back down, which is good, because if we can get this MACD, if we can keep the price sideways and bring down this overheated MACD back down to, in this area, we have the opportunity to cycle and do it again and get another pump up. So it's possible, and it really just comes down to if the people that are looking to fill their bags are finished, or the excitement for the Electroneum coin can be garnered by others. There's obviously nothing is more exciting than seeing 50-70% gains. It kind of motivates a lot of people to say, "Ooh, what's that? What's going on there?" Let's see here. Plankton saying, let's see, trade volume 2.3 million, up 97%. Yeah, we were like 1.1 million in trade volume. So that's $1 million worth of Electroneum moved in an hour and a half. So there was a lot of money moved around, and it's still being moved around. So we'll see where this takes us. But I like to watch this live, especially when you get a pump. I'm hoping that this will stabilize, this will come down, and we might get another leg up. But I don't know if it'll happen on the show. Plankton says he thinks Electroneum is the future. Yeah, I think it's definitely part of the future, and there's no doubt about it. I think they've got a lot of good plans over there to use Electroneum, so I think that there'll be value for people. Scotty's saying, yeah, just imagine when the United States can join in and buy it on a U.S. exchange. We're all waiting for that, believe me. That's important. It's something that we definitely need to see. Definitely need to see. And Electroneum's working on that. I think that it probably could have happened already if we didn't have this pandemic and other things that happened and transpired throughout the year really put some handcuffs or a ball and chain around the legs of not only Electroneum but the folks that try to make all that happen. So everything's been delayed this year. But I know for a fact, I'm knocking everything over on my desk here like a mental patient. I know for a fact that Electroneum considers it a high importance issue. And I think they've expressed that. Richard has said that multiple times. Yeah, I'm not saying, yeah, definitely. Regulation isn't going away, and Electroneum is leading the pack. Yeah, it's not going away. It's going to get significantly more intrusive with all cryptocurrencies. They want to know where this stuff's coming from. It is way too easy to be able to move money around the world with it, and that's why it's so good. And the countries and governments are going to want to make sure that the product can be used as functionally as it's designed for, in a safe and monitored way. And all cryptocurrencies are going to have to deal with this. And, Electroneum's up front. And when you're the first to, to be the pioneer, you're the one that gets the arrow shot at you. So, it's always going to be the toughest for the guys up front. But ultimately, you get first movers. Hey, get back over here. Can't even get my face on the screen. You're going to get first mover advantage, which is important. So that could make a big difference. If you're first and you're doing it right, you're going to be looked at, and anything is possible. Anything is possible. Whether it just becomes useful, whether it gets bought out, whether investors see it and they start just an institution buys into it. Just about anything could happen when it comes to Electroneum. And there'll be a point where something magical will happen because of its first mover advantage and being able to integrate. So we'll put our hat on that one. Eventually it'll the value will be more commensurate with what it brings to the table. Now, hey, take a look at this. While we were chatting there, the buying pressure brought it back up, and you can see here, right. Well, let's move this over a little bit more. Right here, when we had that negative down, now we're getting an upwards pressure, and as soon as we got that upwards pressure, it's being bought up. So this is a very good sign. You can have upwards pressure, but yet the price just goes sideways, and you can still have the price go down, believe it or not. And when you have it go sideways or down, that's when you have a weak buying pressure, and you're going to eventually see this collapse. The fact that we're seeing, we have sales going on, but they're being overcome. And that's the reason why this is a light pink, because it's moving its way up, and as it moves up, it's going to cycle about up into the green here. We have a decent amount of buying pressure, so it's driving the price back up again. So that's pretty exciting. What we want to see in the chart is that we want to see. Let's move this up a little bit better. We want to see a higher high. We had this burst. It dropped down to this lower top. We would like to see this match that top or exceed it. Now, if we start to see this exceed the other top, this is a very good sign, because we have a higher low. You can see this when this fell down to this 15.6 sats. This one only dropped down to 17.9 sats. So if we can get this higher high and then it drops back down in this cycle to a higher low, that's a good sign. That means that we're going to be seeing some activity for hours to come on the price. So we'll have to hang in there and see what actually transpires. We'll be talking about it on the Telegram channel, and so if you decide to after the show is over, you still want to chat about it, you can obviously jump into Digitspin Crypto's Telegram, and we can keep an eye on this, see how it's turning out. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just talking about TV ads. He's saying that he thinks it's doing wonders for AnyTask. Yeah, AnyTask is a big part of Electroneum, even though it's a separate company over Electroneum. AnyTask definitely has a significant value because they're using the Electroneum coin to make the product work and to make it valuable to those around the world who are creating products to sell on it, digital products. And so it's kind of the center point, and any of them, whether they're Fiverr or Upwork or any of the other ones, could easily use the Electroneum coin also to add to their environments to make it work for their vendors also. So it's a it's a petri dish of a brand using the Electroneum project coin, the Electroneum coin, to be able to make their website function and interact. And so the Electroneum team, I'm sure, is going to learn a lot about how to integrate. And I think they even announced or had a release of news today, talking about this, that they learn a lot about how to use Electroneum and what types of tool sets they had to build to support a integration into a large scale project. So they were able to build a lot of the APIs and requirements needed to be able to incorporate it into another product. So this allows other corporations to be able to then tap into those APIs and add it to their websites or their products so that they can also use the value of Electroneum. And when I say value, I don't mean price. I mean what it can bring to the table to their users that use their products or website, and the type of value it can bring to them to make it easier or more functional for them, and ultimately make their product more robust by incorporating Electroneum into it. And Electroneum, if you have a website that does anything particular, like Amazon sells stuff and Fiverr, does the gig sites, the freelancing sites, and there are all different types of categories. Any one of those categories could easily incorporate Electroneum into their environment, knowing that it's regulated, and not going to cause problems for them. So it's a good type of thing. So AnyTask it brings a lot of value for Electroneum, and of course AnyTask on itself could become a reasonably nice size company. So AnyTask itself will bring its own value to the world. Let's see here. Yeah, what you got? Yeah, Peppa.
Electroneum make a post at the 1st of January. Imagine seeing in AnyTask at work during the Super Bowl. I am interested in your opinion. Are you think this is possible?
All right. So yeah, I saw that. I saw that post. I would tend to say that post was done in humor and fun and imagine if type of thing. I doubt that Electroneum would cough up the $1 million fee for a Super Bowl ad. Stranger things have happened in the world. Anything could happen. But I would not place any bet that there's going to be a Super Bowl ad for any task if I was you. And again, that's a real long shot. Maybe I'll put $1 down. But that's it. So, but I think it was just to bring some excitement to Twitter and go from there. But I could be wrong. So I give it a 2% chance. If that answers your question.
Yes, but it would be very nice if.
It would be very fascinating, for sure. It would be fascinating. When you're going to spend that type of money on the Super Bowl, those ads and what they charge, the companies spend a lot of money to make some kind of a very unique ad so that it's memorable and can be talked about. Like the GoDaddy commercial, they had the two girls fighting in the fountain or whatever it was, and usually when they do that, they create some kind of commercial that people are going to talk about afterwards, so that the name gets put on websites of the best commercials, this, that, and the other thing. So there's a lot of work that would go into that, and but it would be fascinating. I wouldn't be surprised one day to see something like that, but quite frankly, don't hold your breath. All right. Let's see what else we get here. Stuart saying, "Hey, I think they did a really great job with the ads on TV. Really clean, really professional, really catchy." Yeah, Stuart. Yeah, they were nice. They were nice. They were friendly, easy to understand. Allowed you to be. They were quick, but allowed you to keep up with them. I was very happy with them from my perspective, which is just some. Ding dong on YouTube with a big mouth. So I had no problem with them. I think they're great. So we'll see how it goes. I know that there's been a lot of nonsense going on here in the States. So a lot of commercials and what have you are getting preempted and all that good stuff. But it's still good to see. Something else goes, "Hey, it could be forming a mass affiliate wave, and the price is gonna be crazy in a month." You can tell by his icon that Numpty Nuts is real excited. I think this is the most excitement that Numpty Nuts has had in the last 6 months or whatever, because he's always going, when's this gonna happen? So I'm sure that he's having a beer right now to see something happen. Let's see what else here. Any Crypto Dog's out there. Good to see Crypto Dog. Any task is better ads over time. 1 million people hitting any task at once during Super Bowl may not be the best thing. Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to stop the Super Bowl to go click on any task. They're going to watch the Super Bowl. Yeah, advertisements are funny because it's kind of a brand build. There's not very much that you can do right on the moment, unless you're watching it on a PC and you can click on the ad and it takes you to the website. But when you're watching it on TV, it's the type of thing, oh yeah, I got to check that out next week or tomorrow when I get back to work or whatever. So it's kind of a brand building over time, and that's kind of how that works. So you can see here that what we were just talking about 5 minutes ago, what we wanted to see is that we had our top, and what we were looking for here with Electroneum is is kind of come into play. We had this high top, this low low. It came down here, and what we were talking about 15 minutes ago is that we were wanting to see this hit a similar high. So this is a good sign. All right, and not only that, it flipped the moving average for the 5 minute, which you really can't use for anything specific. It's just to kind of let you know the trend for the next 5 or 10 minutes. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, right now we've hit and matched that. We're at that exact same point. And hold on one second, guys. Hang on one second. Hang on a second, guys. Oh my God! Oh my God! My wife is insane. She thinks that she has to interrupt me in the middle of a broadcast. All right, so all right. Let me apologize to you guys for that. These things happen. Now, those of you that were smart enough to be on the Telegram, you probably could have heard my whole conversation with my wife. She makes me crazy at times. I think all wives make you crazy at times, but that's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it. All right, let's see here. Let's go back to this. Oh, so it looks like the live stream is done on, I think it only runs for an hour, so that's how that works. Okay, let's get back to this here real quick. Let's bring this up. All right, now I got my system back up before my wife interrupted me. All right, let's see here. Numpty not to say more than one beer. Yeah, I'm sure it is. All right, so we did this match here. So if we're lucky, we're going to see this be a higher low, which would be nice and would work out really well. Let me shut this down here. Close that up. All right, and we'll see a higher low. And if we take a look, we can also. This is when the guys they start making those triangles. What they do is they'll take a look and then they'll start drawing out these lines so that they can start to see some patterns in the data. All right, so this is when you start seeing them draw out pennants and look for little fractals that look like things like head and shoulders and things like that. So this is what we're looking at. All right, so if I was Carl the Moon, I'd say, all right, we got a bullish pennant here that came in from the bottom. Usually when these pennants happen, it'll break out right about here, which is going to be at 8:30. Let's see here. Yeah. We're at 7:35 right now, right? So somewhere between 7:35, which is now, and 8:30, which is about an hour from now, this pennant supposedly will break out, and it can break to the upside or it can break to the downside. All right, as long as it stays within that pennant, that's kind of what happens. And so this is how you kind of know within an hour something is going to happen here when you're doing some technical analysis. The problem is with Electroneum, freaking anything can happen. It's really hard to do technical analysis on Electroneum. There's not a lot of volume. $1 million to $2 million. So there are guys that have hundreds of millions and can just buy all the coins right now. So it's hard to do TA because it can be dramatically changed for any reason. If somebody burps, the price of Electroneum changes. So until Electroneum has more value and it costs a lot more to get the coins, then you can start to do a little bit more technical analysis. But if I had to do technical analysis on it, this is what we're looking at for Electroneum, and within an hour we should see either this go to pump up, or we're going to see this fall down, or it'll just keep going sideways. And it'll blow through the pennant, and that happens. I've seen it, go through. It just keeps going, and the pennant didn't mean anything. But this is, it's clearly forming a pennant. It's clearly bouncing within it, and you would tend to believe, and 9 out of 10 times, it's gonna either break to the upside or it's gonna break to the downside, and that's basically what the guys are talking about when they're doing the technical analysis. If you take a look, when we're seeing a lot of people trying to sell their Electroneum, so as they're being, this initial shockwave of somebody coming in and buying up the coins drove the price right up there. But now it's gotten, I guess people have caught on there. They're noticing that the price went up, and they're like, oh crap, I gotta go sell. So those that wanted to go sell are jumping in and doing that. So you can see, when we get into the green with the MACD, it's very short-lived. It kind of goes in, strong and just drops right back out. So we have a lot of selling pressure, people trying to get rid of some coins or sell them off. And so that initial shockwave. So, we would love to see, when we start to see the buying pressure bars go up, higher, that's when you're going to see another leg up. So historically, if you don't have purchasing pressure, Electroneum has a tendency with the bots, they kind of sell the price down, and it'll work its way back down over a period of a month, and it'll go back down. This year is completely different. Anything can happen with the cryptocurrency. When Bitcoin does something crazy, and the price goes to wherever, it can alter the trajectory of all the altcoins pretty quickly. You can see here, this is good on Bitcoin. We're getting this downward spiral here, this downward pressure, more selling pressure, but the price is kind of staying level. This is good. This is what you want. Less oscillation. You want to see this either stay and work its way to the right, or continue to work its way up just ever slightly. It means you have a lot of buyers out there willing to take up this selling pressure. All right. If you get a significant oscillation down, then you're going to see the price go down. So looking at the 4-hour on Bitcoin, we had some oscillation in there, but we're holding this line, which is this $40,000 line, pretty much all day, which is a good sign. This is going to let the MACD cool off. You got the cross here coming up, not a good sign. And we still have a lot of red now to go into, so it's going to be tough over the next day or two. But I have seen, with this craziness, I have seen the price go up in the red, which is kind of crazy, but it has happened. All right, let's take a look here. 3 million volume. Yeah, it's pumping along, right? There's a lot of activity. There's a nice balance between the what's being sold and what's being purchased. And I don't know if there was a bot that came in here and started buying all these up for someone or a group of people or what have you. But this price is being kept reasonably balanced. and it's following through. I'm just curious what's going to happen over the next hour. So you guys keep an eye. Check the price at 8:30, and you will see there'll be either a break up or a breakdown. My bet, I don't know. I'm going to take a look. If I'm going to bet on it, I'm going to say it's going to break to the upside. And the reason why I'm going to say it's going to break to the upside is that you take a look here. It's been hitting this 22 sats, 23 sats. It's been closing at that. All right? It's hitting that upper level. This has been a climbing level. So every time it keeps hitting that glass, I'm going to give it a 75% odds that we're going to break to the upside. But that doesn't mean we won't crash back down either. So, but that's my odds. That's my odds that we're going to break out of this pennant, either straight out sideways or up in the next hour. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you again. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. I had a lot of fun goofing off, and I'll see you next time on Digitspin Crypto. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's important.